twiddling my thumbs. Well, I'm sure those Dawson boys will keep you from getting too bored, Lizzie laughed. Oh, they've put me right to work, Josie answered. But maybe it's a Sullivan boy I'd rather get busy with. Deke rubbed his hands together to warm them up as he walked back into the store. He crossed the floor in a few long strides, removed his hat, and hiked a hip on the countertop. Lizzie handed him an orange lollipop. Thanks for doing that for us. My favorite, he said, and popped the sucker in his mouth. He could barely take his eyes off Josie's full, red-stained lips. Her blue eyes locked with his for a second before he blinked. You coming to the house tomorrow night for the New Year's Eve supper? Lizzie asked. Wouldn't miss it. He planted both feet on the floor and settled his hat back on his head. You going to be there, Josie? Since I'm living with Judd and Fiona for the moment, I suppose I will be. Anything special I need to know about? Not a thing. It's just family. The phone rang and Lizzie reached for it. Feed store. She listened for 30 seconds and then hung up. That was Judd. Your goats are in my front yard. Guess they decided to come back home. Deke started for the front door. Damn it. Crazy critters. Josie drove past the Lucky Penny Ranch sign and turned right into the next lane. Her cousins, Blake and Toby, and her brother, Judd, had bought the property last year and were determined to make it succeed despite its bad reputation. After all, if anyone knew about bad reputations, it was those three boys. And yet even they had turned around their wild ways and settled down. With 3 Logan sisters, no less. When she got to the barn to unload Toby's feed, she couldn't believe the sight before her eyes. Goats everywhere, romping around the floor, climbing bales of hay like they thought they were mountain goats. And her brother in the middle of the ruckus, cursing up a blue streak. This looks like it's more fun than herding cats, she laughed. We could practice our roping skills. Laugh all you want. When Deke gets back, you're going to help us gather them up one at a time and get them in his trailer, Judd said. Where are Toby and Blake? Josie asked. One of them is fixing the fence on our ranch. The other one is over there taking care of Deke's fence and shoring up the goat pen so this don't happen again, Judd answered. It didn't take a genetics professor to see that Josie and Judd were sister and brother. They both had blonde hair and blue eyes. But where his face was chiseled, hers was softer and her lips fuller. He was over 6 feet tall, and she was just under that height. They had double degrees in geology and agriculture, and they competed to see who had the best nose for finding oil. Josie usually let Judd win when it came to ranching. But not by much. The barn doors squeaked, and she looked over her shoulder to see Deke sliding his big frame through just enough space to let him into the barn. Fine-looking cowboy in those tight jeans and denim jacket over a plaid shirt with the tail hanging below it. Never pictured you for a goat farmer, Josie teased. Deke glowered. Hell no. I'm a cattle rancher. But to get Truman Odell's cattle when he gave up the ranching business, I had to take this miserable herd of goats with him. I may barbecue every one of them. Aw, I think they're cute. Look at those 2 young ones up there butting heads and playing King of the Mountain, Josie said. You want them? Today, I'll sell them to you real cheap. Deke grabbed one by the legs and headed out to the trailer with it. No, she does not want them, Judd answered as he wrapped one up in his arms. I would if I already had a ranch, Josie said. I love baby goats. When I get my own place, I'm going to have everything from chickens to cows. She was busy sweet-talking one of the young ones when Deke and Judd returned. They quickly cornered the old ram, but he got away from them and butted Judd in the rear end, pushing him forward into Deke and sending them both falling face forward into the hay. Josie was laughing so hard that she could hardly breathe when the ram circled back around and head-butted her forward. Deke had barely gotten back on his feet when Josie came barreling at him, sending both of them into a spiral roll that took hay bales with them. That was a wild ride.